Hello and welcome to This Date in History, aka TDH. This show is, of course, all about the events that occurred to date in years past, both recognized by actual historians, but mainly things that we personally find intriguing enough for us to bring to you. The sources of this information comes from the smart device application Today in History, What Happened Today in History,
Historical calendar.
and the website onthisday.com for links to those sources, the music, and anything else we gather throughout the show, as well as some other cool links. Check the description. Anyway, I am Alexander,
I am me.
and today is Moon's Day, also known as Monday, May 9th, 2022.
And 328, Atlanteus is elected Patriarch of Alexandria.
Nice. Doing a bit of a time jump here into 1009, which is 1013 years ago. Pretty interesting. During the Lombard Revolt, Lombard forces led by Meles revolted in Bari against the Byzantine Catapanete of Italy.
Okay. Damn. Also, 1386, England and Portugal ratified their alliances with the signing of the Treaty of Windsor, making it the oldest diplomatic alliance in the world, which is still in still in force. 636 years.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. Moving on up into 1450, Abd al-Latif, the Timurid monarch, was assassinated. Ooh.
Yeah.
And then switching the numbers here from 1450 to 1540, Hernando de Alarcon set sail on an expedition to the Gulf of California. Hey.
Nice. If only they knew. California
if only they knew what the future would hold.
1662, the figure who later became Mr. Punch makes his first recorded appearance in England. So it's a puppet, I think.
Thought it was a boxer. Actually, let's look this up. 1662, Mr. Punch. 1662, Mr. Punch.
I'll be back. Pay the bathroom.
No, I don't want shopping. I want images. Oh, it is a puppet. You're right. Oh, that guy. Okay. Huh. Anyway, let's see here. In 1671, Thomas Blood, disguised as a clergyman, attempted to steal England's crown jewels from the Tower of London. Dang. And in 1726, 5 men were arrested during a raid on Mother Clapp's Molly House in London and were executed at Tyburn. Mother Clapp. That does not sound good. Sounds like good old Mother Clapp is diseased. 1864, during the Second Schleswig War, the Danish Navy defeated the Austrian and Prussian fleets in the Battle of Heligoland. Heligoland. 1 year later, in 1865, during the American Civil War, Nathan Bedford Forrest surrenders his forces at Gainesville, Alabama. Also in 1865, and also during the American Civil War, President Andrew Johnson issued a proclamation ending belligerent rights of the rebels and enjoining foreign nations to intern or expel Confederate ships. Moving on up in 1873, Der Krach, Vienna stock market crash heralded the Long Depression. 4 years later, in 1877, Mihail Kogalnikianu reads in the Chamber of Deputies the Declaration of Independence of Romania. This day became the Independence Day of Romania. Happy Independence Day, Romania! Jumping on up into the next century, in 1901, Australia opened its first national parliament in Melbourne. And I see that you're back.
Mm-hmm. 1911, the works of Gabriel, are plus in the Index of Forbidden Books by the Vatican.
Are you in the middle of a sandwich?
Yes.
Ah, called it. I can hear the mayonnaise. Why don't you take the next couple?
Sure. 1915, World War I, Second Battle of Artios, between German and French forces.
Ooh.
Wow. Also in World War One, this is 1918, German repelled Britain's second attempt to blockade the port of Ostend, Belgium.
Hmm. 2 years later, 1920, during a different conflict, the Polish-Soviet War. Like, wow, so many wars today. The Polish army under General Edward Smigly celebrated its capture of Kiev with a victory parade on Kurdish. We need we need linguists in our team. I swear, like we butcher so many names. It's almost not even funny. Almost though, still funny. And in 1936, Italy formally annexed Ethiopia after taking the capital Addis Ababa on May the 5th. So that was 4 days ago. Say Cinco de Mayo. Hey.
Damn.
Well, dang. So I guess Cinco de Mayo is not a happy day for everybody. Ethiopia lost their independence. That sucks.
1941 World War II, the German submarine U-110 is captured by the Royal Navy. On board is the largest Enigma machine, which Allied choreographers used to break the code German messengers.
The latest Enigma machine, and the cryptographers later used it to break the German messages. That's a big find. If it wasn't for that, like the war probably would have gone on for another year or so, you know, where we probably would have lost. Who knows? 365 days later, in 1942, during the Holocaust in Ukraine, the SS executed 588 Jewish residents of the Podolian town of Zinkiv, which is Khmelnytska Oblast, also known as the Zoludek Ghetto in Belarus. It was destroyed and all its inhabitants were executed or deported. Damn.
Okay. Come on.
3 years later, in 1945, also during World War II, the final German instrument of surrender was signed at the Soviet headquarters in Berlin, Karlshorst. Even though the war officially ended, on documents yesterday, VE Day, Victory in Europe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also, 1948, Czechoslovakia's 9th of May Constitution comes into effect.
Nice. 2 years later, in 1950, Robert Schuman presented the Schuman Declaration, which is considered by some to be the beginning of the creation in what is now the European Union. It's about the same time as NATO, right? And then also the United Nations was forming. So all of these New World Order things were forming at around the same time. Interesting.
Okay. Also, 1955. Oh, yeah. 1955, Cold War. West Germany joins NATO.
I was just talking about NATO.
In 1960, the Food and Drug Administration announces that it will approve birth control as an additional indication for series Envold, making Envold the world's first oral contraceptive pill.
Approved oral contraceptive pill.
The pill.
The pill. 1969, Carlos Lamarca led the first urban guerrilla action against the military dictatorship of Brazil in Sao Paulo by robbing 2 banks.
Damn.
And then in 1974, during the Watergate scandal, the United States House Committee on the Judiciary opened formal and public impeachment hearings against President Richard Nixon. Good.
He got out the easy way.
Yeah. We should have strung that guy up by his thumbs, taking us off the gold standard, allying us, opening trade with China. Like, we wouldn't be in the shit mess we're in today if it wasn't for that piece of crap, So.
1976, Iranian Jewish businessman Habib Egahan is executed by firing squad in Tehran, prompting the mass exodus of the once 100,000 strong Jewish community of Iran.
Dang. So, yeah, they learn from history. Once one of them starts getting mowed down, they're like, okay, we're leaving. Goodbye. they learned they don't want another repeat of 1935 through 45. 1 year later, in 1980, in Florida, within the United States, Liberian firefighter MV Summit Venture collided. No, not firefighter, freighter. Wow, totally muffined it right there. Liberian freighter MV Summit Venture collided with the Sunshine Skyway Bridge over Tampa Bay, making a 1,400-foot section of the southbound span collapse. 35 people within 6 cars and a Greyhound bus fell 150 feet into the water to meet their grisly demise. That is horrifying.
Yeah.
That's like something out of a movie, like Final Destination, the bridge scene. The guy in the bus. Ah! Yeah.
Yeah, Final Destination 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, 1980, in Norco, California, 5 masked gunmen hold up a Security Pacific Bank, leading up to the violent shootout of one of the largest pursuits in California history. 2 of the gunmen and 1 of the police officers are killed, and 33 police and civilian vehicles are destroyed in the chase. Yeah, those people had fucking AKs with drums.
So was that the one or am I confusing that with something else? Because I remember wasn't there one in the 90s where they had homemade body armor, and then one guy was taken out, and then the other guy offed himself or something when it became obvious. I don't know. There was some shootout. I think it was in West Hollywood or something. I don't know, or maybe this is it because I know about the Norco shootings too. Anyway, in 1987, LOT Flight 5055, Tadeusz Kościuszko, crashed after takeoff in Warsaw, Poland, causing the deaths of all 183 people on board. And that's awful. Another day, another plane accident.
1998, new Parliament House, Canberra, officially opens. And in 1992, Armenian forces capture Shusha, marking a major turning point for the First Nagorno-Karabakh War.
Also in 1992, Westray mine disaster killed 26 workers in Nova Scotia, Canada. And on that same time, also in 1992, Armenian forces captured Shusha, which we already said that, so I'll get rid of that one.
Mm-hmm.
What happened in 2001?
2001 in Ghana, 129 football fans died in what's to be known as the Accra Sports Stadia Disaster. The deaths were caused by a stampede caused by the firing of tear gas by police personnel at the stadium. That followed a controversial decision by the referee.
Yeah. Refs have a lot of power, and people got to stop giving them so much power. It was funny. I was having a conversation yesterday, with a friend on Discord, involving his server and everything. And, we're talking about, okay, no politics, no religion, yada, yada. He's like, oh, but I want people to talk about sports. I'm like, that's a religion, It really is. Have you seen what those Packers do? They're all about the cheese heads. They worship, the football. Tell you what. Anyway, in 2002, the 38-day standoff in the Church of the Nativity in Bethlehem came to an end when the Palestinians inside agreed to have 13 suspected terrorists among them deported to several different countries.
Okay. In 2018, the historical defeat for Bosnian National, the government coalition of Malaysia since the government's independence of 1957 in 2018 Malaysian general election.
Cool. That's really cool. And last but not least, 2020, just 2 years ago, the COVID-19 or Kung flu, the Wuhan flu, the Wu flu, the China flu, whatever it is you want to call it, recession caused the U.S. unemployment rate to hit 14.9%, its worst rate since the Great Depression, and it's gotten worse since then. So, yeah. Before we get into bursts and the deaths and such, any articles grab your attention today?
Yeah, the hundreds of thousands of Jews decide to leave. Like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, 100,000 Jews are just like, okay, we're gone. We know where this is heading. Yeah, that
Yep,
is
we've been here
interesting.
before. Next, we're gonna find out there's an artist involved.
Oh no, a failed artist.
No,
Who?
actually, he wasn't failed artist. His art was actually good.
Well, no, he was a good artist, but he never got into school, so he's like a failed artist, so to speak. Never really got into it, and then yeah. Anyway, let's get into bursts here. Starting us off in 1147, we have Minamoto no Yoritomo was a Japanese shogun.
That name.
Yeah.
No, you wait. 1151 out. I need last Fatmid Calip.
1555, Geronima de la Asuncion, Spanish Catholic nun and founder of the first monastery in Manila.
Nice. 1800 John Brown, American activist.
1 year later, 1801, Peter Hesketh Fleetwood was born on this date. He was an English politician who founded the town of Fleetwood.
Okay, Mr. Fleetwood. Thank you for leaving next.
Yep.
I'm joking. He has nothing to do with Fleetwood Mac. 1824 Jacob bin Moses Barak, Polish apologist.
I wonder what he's apologizing for.
That name.
1836, Ferdinand Monnoyer, a French ophthalmologist who invented the Monnoyer chart. Now, I don't know what either one of those things are, so I'm going to look this up. What is an ophthalmologist? Let's see here. Here we go.
Ophthalmologist.
Uh,
I think it's alright.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Ophthalmologists are specialists who handle all the medical aspects of eye care, including treatment, surgery, and the prescription of contact lenses and glasses, as well as medicines for eye problems. So he was an eye guy. So the Monnoyer chart, I'm guessing, is that, like, that chart. Well, yep, the chart with all the stuff on it.
Yeah.
Like all the letters. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Who was born in 1837?
So hold up. When the ophthalmology? Oh, 36. Okay. Oh. 1836. No, 1837. It's Adam Opal, German engineer who founded the Opal Company.
1816, we have James Matthew Barrie, a Scottish novelist and playwright.
And 1874, Howard Carter, English archaeologist and historian. Yes, he's the one who found King Tut's tomb.
King Tut's tomb. I thought so. My mom was deep into history, and I should know more about that, or into ancient Egyptian stuff. So that name is kind of like engraved in my mind. 1882, we have Henry J. Kaiser, was an American shipbuilder and businessman who founded Kaiser Shipyards. And then 1892, Zita of Bourbon Parma, Bourbon Parmesan cheese, that sounds good, last empress of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. 1909, Gordon Bunshaft, a U.S. architect who designed the Solo Building. Let's look that up real quick. Solo Building. Images. Oh, okay. It's pretty cool.
And 1914, Deardenham Phelps, U.S. 4.
Yeah, the source says she was a prostitute, but that's potato. 4 years later, 1918, Mike Wallace was born on the States. He was a U.S. journalist, media personality, and one-time game show host.
Okay. 1937, Rafael Morel, Spanish architect who designed the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels and Valladolid Science Museum.
I checked out the cathedral just now, and oh, that science museum looks really cool.
Oh God.
Oh, that's a good dinosaur too.
Oh
Nice.
God. 1970. Oh God.
1940, we have James L. Brooks, was a U.S. director, producer, and screenwriter.
I'll do both of these.
Okay.
1970, Hao Haidong, Chinese footballer and all-time top scorer for the Chinese national team. And 1979, Andrew W.K., U.S. singer-songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, motivational speaker, and music producer.
Yep.
Party, 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 party.
His full name is Andrew Flederly Wilkes Cryer, I believe.
Yeah.
That
Yep.
correct?
That's his name.
Yep. 1985, we have Jake Long, is a U.S. football player and possibly an American Dragon. You know, American Dragon Jake Long.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I watched too many cartoons.
1988, J.R. Fitzpatrick, U.S. race car driver.
His full name being John Ryan Fitzpatrick. Of course, that's what JR stands for. Moving on to the deaths, why don't you start us off here?
Sure. In 729, Osric, king of Northumbria.
893, we have Shi Pu, warlord of the Tang Dynasty. Shi Pu, she fart, she pee. And then doing a pretty significant time jump here into 1329, John Drokensford died on the States. He was a bishop of Bath and Wells. So he was about the water, huh?
Mm-hmm.
1590, we have Charles D. Bourbon, was a French cardinal and pretender to the throne. Nobody likes a fake king.
No one likes the fake king. 1789, John Baptiste Fouquier de Iberville, French general and engineer.
1914, we have C.W. Post. His name is Charles William Post. Was a U.S. businessman who founded Post Foods. In 1950, we have Esteban Terradas y Ilila, was a Spanish mathematician and engineer. 18 years later, 1968, Harold Gray died on the States. He was a U.S. cartoonist who created Little Orphan Annie.
Nice. Also, 1976, You're like me off. German militant who co-founded the Red Army faction. Yeah, with a name like that, you have to do something drastic.
Yeah. 2003, Russell B. Long. Is he, though? Was a lieutenant, lawyer, and politician.
Also, 2004, Archmag Cavoy, Chechen cleric and politician who was the first president of the Chechen Republic.
2013, George M. Leader, a U.S. soldier and politician who is the 36th governor of Pennsylvania. Sounds like a leader to me.
Yeah. 2013, Ottavio Missoni, Italian hurdler and fashion designer who founded Missoni.
1 year later, in 2014, Nedurumali Janardhana Reddy was a Indian politician who is the 12th Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh.
Okay. 2013, Robert Miles, Swiss-born Italian record producer, composer, musician, and DJ.
2018, Pierre Kirkeby was a Danish painter, poet, filmmaker, and sculptor.
In 2019, Freddie Starr, English comedian, impressionist, singer, and actor.
Yep. And that concludes the show for today. Once again, check the underbar, the description for any links that you may find interesting, which also includes
Shonen TV on Twitch.
And everything Omni Coalition. For your dose of Past Events Daily, we stream every day, anytime around 12 noon to 3 p.m. Pacific.
2 to 5 Central.
For all of you know of us, I am Ao Xander.
I am me.
And you are you. And until you see us tomorrow, don't forget to look right and left at every intersection, rate those 5 thumbs, and subscribe if you do so wish. Until tomorrow, toodles! Let's go, Brandon.